Oh shit! What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Natty Baps. Shabazz will be here soon. He is handling some adult business right now, but he'll be here soon. He will be here soon. He has to answer for the dark magic of the Pittsburgh Steelers as they beat the Ravens. Week 11 in the books. Week 11 of the 2024-2025 season. Some upsets that we predicted, some blowouts that we predicted. It's getting easier and easier as the schedule goes on to start predicting wins. Teams are what they are at this point in the season, and you know the good teams beat the good team, beat the bad teams. At least they should. Then, oh, hold on, sorry, I'm playing this game and I almost fumbled it back. But yeah, drop a like, subscribe if you're new, tell a friend. My muscles looking real good. My muscles look a little muscly in the shirt type shit. Before I begin, shout out to Notre Dame. They're ranked number 6 in the college football playoff, but 8th in seeding, so we would host a playoff game. If the season ended today, we'd host Alabama. That would be insane. Word. But drop a like, subscribe if you're new, tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's kick things off with Thursday night football. So Thursday night football, I think I'm damn near perfect in these predictions with Thursday night football. Shout out to Shabazz and I. We both predicted the Eagles would beat the Commanders. We both said that they would cover the spread. Nothing against the Commanders. We'd say that they would split throughout the regular season. We say that at Washington that the Commanders would beat them. You heard it here second, potentially first, back in last week. But there's two concerns for the Commanders that I have. The first, ever since Jane Daniels' rib injury, they haven't been scoring as many points. They barely beat the Bears. They needed a Hail Mary. They lost to the Ravens. They've lost to the Eagles. And I'm trying to think. They also lost to somebody else as well. Um,
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, right.
Let's
So
go.
it's shout out to Shabazz, word. So it's like, okay, you barely beat the Bears, right? You lost to Pittsburgh, you lost to Philly, right? Yes, Jaden Daniels is fantastic, but he's not healthy, especially for a running quarterback. He hasn't been running as much as he did in the first 7 weeks, first 9 weeks, while they were like 7-2. Oh my God, they're winning games. Oh my God, they're getting crazy. He's not putting his legs in action as much as he should.
Mhm.
Um, for the Philly, like this game was ugly. This is one of those ugly Thursday night games. When me and Shabazz we playing Fortnite, we're watching whatever. We're like, fuck it, we're just gonna play some Fortnite, whatever, until the fourth quarter. Right,
Yep.
fourth quarter, Saquon Barkley showing why the Giants are a dumb organization. Why you let a guy like him go? Also, I saw something on Twitter. It's like, yeah, Saquon leaves the Giants, and the Giants get killed, but the Bengals get rid of Joe Mixon, and Joe Mixon showing off for Houston.
And they don't
Just
get killed.
something to think about. Something to think about. But Saquon Baquan, 2 touchdowns, fantastic plays. Put the team on his back. Put the team on his back. Literally, yes. Jalen Hurts. Oh my God, bro. I hate Jalen Hurts. Not in a
Damn.
oh my God. I hate such a strong word. But Jalen Saquon Barkley has gotten the Eagles to the 1 yard line 9 times. You know how many times afterwards he's gotten the ball again?
None.
Once.
Oh,
And
once.
it was like a failed run. But out of the 9 times, and then Hurts scored a touchdown the play after. We talk about Taysom Hill stealing Kamara touchdowns all the time in our group chat. But Jalen Hurts is a touchdown stealer, man, for years. But it sucks when you bet on Saquon Barkley to score. Yes, he ended up scoring anyway. But again, concern Commanders got to be able. Your defense kept them in check for 3 quarters. Yes, missed field goals or Jake Elliott aside, your defense was not stout, but they handled their business. But Jaden Daniels, if you're going to be the next guy, you got to one get healthy and stay healthy, and two put some muscle on because man, you are a frail kid. So Commanders got to lock out, but luckily for them, they have the Cowboys coming up. So that's a definition of a get right game if there is one, and they'll be fine. I think they still make the playoffs, but there's some telltale signs to come. in my opinion.
Um, all in all, I'd like the Eagles' game plan. They didn't stop the run. They didn't stop bringing the ball. Like no matter like, but the problem is, I agree with you 100%. For the Commanders, like this was a game where you play Pittsburgh, you play them tough, and you get out physical, and you lose. Then you have a short week on the road. It's kind of hard to win those games. So like you can't lose three straight, right? We'll talk about that tomorrow. Who they play, Nacho?
Cowboys.
All right, you play Dallas. You should be able to win. We'll see about that. But if so, I agree with you 100% on the Commanders end. Like they haven't been right since Jaden Ribs got hurt. He can still throw the ball. That's fine. But the reason why everyone was clamoring around him was because of the dynamic ability of him running as well as throwing. He was like, oh, he's a Lamar Jackson too, like light because he could run as well as Lamar, but also throw the ball, push it down the field. He can still push the ball down the field, but and also Terry McLaurin having like one catch the entire game. That's a credit to the rookie that they drafted on. I think Quentin Mitchell. So shout out to him. Huge shout out because he's like have a quiet season. I think he got cooked against what game was it? I think against Atlanta in that overtime. And ever since then, he's been on Jamar Chase lockdown, Terry McLaurin lockdown, like a lot of like quality receivers. He's been really clamping down. CD Lamb like pretty clamped down. So like he's stepping up. And then Cooper DeJean just being a nice guy. Reed Blankenship. They have nice depth at the defensive back position. The linebackers can be hit or miss. That's the way you can attack them.
You put the gene in
But but I think they're a good team. I think they're the second best team in the NFC, and we see them on the first. They come to Baltimore on the 1st of December, so that will be a great matchup. I hope we can win that. But shout out to the Eagles for winning. Shout out to Saquon. Um, he right now, I love King Henry, and the touchdown streak is definitely going to continue. It's between him, Jamar Chase for the Triple Crown having season, and then Saquon. Like those three guys are the leads for Offensive Player of the Year. Fortunately, don't give MVP to skill position players. That's not gonna happen. Packers beat the Bears. I was shooketh because one, I almost had the Packers as my survivor pick, but I changed it to Miami. So either way, I've been fine. But Jordan Love, man, he it's hard to quit. It's hard to not be a fan because in one instance it was like a fourth and goal. He tried to run it in, he gets stopped. Well, he could have threw it, but he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna run this bitch in." But then fast forward to like the fourth quarter, he runs it in for a touchdown. I was like, "Wow!" Like so, you always mention you get the what the world? What are you doing? You get those plays all the time, but then you also get the all right, all right. It's like the Steph Curry effect, where like back in his like 2016 prom, he was just chucking up shit. He's like, "What the fuck?" And then he go in. Oh,
Yeah, so you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. But it's
but
yes, he can. He can because it works out for him.
but I do think that they are definitely a year away. They have the same like I think them in Houston is on that same type of like timing where like good young quarterbacks you paid one, but like good young rosters, they just need another season to mature and to gel and definitely get some help on the offensive line. Because like granted, I know the Bears defense is like above average, but there's no way like he should be running for his life all the time. Um but in terms of Caleb played better. I love that he was using his legs instead of like going backwards and trying to make something happen. He's like, I'm going forward. That's what I like to see. I would love actually for them to win. They've lost like I think three straight. And they got the four straight, and they got the Vikings on the tip. So it's like, ugh, it's kind of hard. But for these next couple games, I want to see him Win or lose, they probably won't win because the roster isn't as good. But I want to see him like really moving forward. Like, don't go backwards, go forward, bro. Like Justin Fields, to his credit, he wasn't like woo 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 and trying to go backwards. He was like, I'm gonna make a guy miss and go forward. Like that's the next level of your game. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, they fine. But then DeAndre Swift, they're running the ball first, which gives them the confidence. Oh, 3rd and 2, they can make a quick pass, quick pass, quick pass, quick pass. So I'm like what I saw from this last game. I just want to see it blossom into something better. But you watched the game with Bears fans, so what's the
So,
temperature in the
I
Bears?
appreciate you. Great segue. So first off, a rhetorical question. I'm gonna answer it myself. What's a quarterback's best friend? Regardless if they're young or old, a quarterback's best friend is a great running game. They said, all right, we're going to fire our offensive coordinator and
Yep.
we're going to put the ball in our running back's hands first. They ran the ball 25, 26, almost 30 times, and they only threw it 23 times. So that goes to show you, okay, they're going to be a run first team, right? And they were being effective. Long drives, keeping that Packers offense off the field, and having Jordan Love be forced to make plays, be that, I got to make it happen, got to make it happen, and they threw an interception. What happened was something that Bears fans are accustomed to. Like literally when they got in field goal range. So obviously I'm skipping a lot of the game. So they get in the field goal range, right? They hype one, the fact Keenan Allen, not Keenan Allen. Well, he made a fantastic throw to Keenan Allen. He checked a route, said, Keenan, I want you to do a quick out instead because he was one-on-one coverage against a fantastic route runner. I'm going to bully him outright, boom, first down, puts them in field goal range. But what gets overlooked is that they had a fourth down in that drive. It was 4th down and 3. And Caleb Williams was a back shoulder fade to Roma Dunze for a first down for a 15-yard gain. And then big play, puts them in position to win. And literally, Corbett sitting on the floor, his dad's like, one, they get the first down. They ran the ball once. They had a timeout. They're like, why don't we run the ball again? Like to try to get more yards. Like they're at the edge of Cairo Santos field goal range. And I'm like, yeah, do a quick out or something or a quick play to get more yards, just get even more closer. Then I know we're at the perfect range. Let's take the 3, settle for 3, and help. And then boom, block field goal. Bears season they lost 4 straight. And 2 of those 4 straight, they arguably had victory snatched from the jaws of defeat. They had the game won against the Commanders. Takes a Hail Mary to beat them. Cardinals didn't show up. Okay, fine, whatever. Patriots, okay, fine, didn't show up. That's how the offensive coordinator got fired. And then 9 sacks. But this game was the best holistic game against a great team that they played. Defense was fantastic. Offense scored touchdowns and yes, kicked field goals as well. But again, the second time in 4 weeks. Well, if you look at the last 30 seconds of a game, hell, at the buzzer, they have a chance to win the game. And a Hail Mary loss and a blocked field goal loss. That should not be on Caleb Williams. And a lot of people, oh, Bears lost, Bears suck. No. Those 2 losses are not on Caleb Williams. The first one, yes, the Commanders, yes, he played bad for 3 quarters, but the fourth quarter showed up, showed out, took the lead, and the defense chokes on a Hail Mary. This game, yes, it was a conservative game, but he didn't lose them the game. He used his legs, as Shabazz said. He got first downs, kept drives alive, kept the Packers offense off the field, and what happens? A blocked field goal. So that we gave credit to the Chiefs last week, right? Their offense wasn't on it, but then the defense and special teams won them the game. That's the difference between an organization like the Chiefs and an organization like the Bears. Special teams, all 3 facets of the game matter. We're going to talk about your Ravens in a second. Well, in a couple games, it's like, yes, your defense finally showed up. Offense was a little slow, but they got it together. How do you lose? Turnovers and missed kicks. So I'm not a Caleb Williams. Oh my god, I hope he's the best quarterback of all time. No, because I'm a Saints fan. Duh. But when I'm watching, I watch these games as intently as any other game because again, I'm hanging out with Bears fans, and it's just a shame that they haven't beat the Packers in like 7 years. They haven't beat the Packers in 7 years, and the first time they actually had a chance, they still lose off of just because blocked field goal. So it's a shame. Hate to see it, and it's a shame for the Packers though. Hey, it's a shame that they're in third place in the division. They're in third place in the division. They have like 8 wins. It's like Jesus Christ. It's like how like what else do you want us to do? I lied. They have 7 wins. They have 7 wins in their third place in the division. It's like, what do you want us to do? We're winning games, but there are other teams, other teams in their division are winning games as well. So they don't figure itself out in the NFC North. But we're gonna talk about the Lions. Lions are a team to beat. Rams beat the Patriots 28-22 in a classic Drake May game. What I mean by that is that he had flashes. You're like, oh my God, this guy is awesome. And then the picks. I believe he had 3 interceptions this game, which would not surprise me at all. Let me check real quick. But yeah, Matthew Stafford now he wants to have a game where he actually scores touchdowns. When I don't need him to do that, he does it. So fuck him. No, he had 1 pick. So yeah, Drake May had 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 75% completion percentage, and 282 yards. He is Drake May, man. He's the future for the New England Patriots. He's the future, in my opinion. Yes, they'll lose games and they'll tank because they don't have a good roster around them, but they have cap space. They have a good defense still. And man, just know next year, dark horse to make the playoffs, Patriots. You heard it here first. Rams, they win. Cool. I needed them to win last week. I needed them to score points last week. So none of that matters. But again, when healthy, they have an unstoppable force of Kyron Williams, who didn't get into the end zone again, but didn't need to. Cooper Cup, Puka Nakua, and Matthew Stafford, Hall of Famer, with Sean McVay, who won his 75th career game, by the way. So shout out to him. So it's unfortunate. I picked the Patriots to cover 4.5. They didn't cover 4.5. They had a chance to win the game, but Drake May interception. So things you hate to see, but Rams, hey, Saints have a bye week, but we play the Rams in 2 weeks. Just gonna throw it out there. Playoff elimination potentially. That's all I'm gonna say on that one. Right. But Rams good win.
So you saying Saints get their leg back from 2018, though?
From 2018, from last year, from the year before that.
Okay. Just Matthew Stafford just played a great game. Puka and Cooper both played phenomenal. Um, I don't know why the Patriots didn't have Christian Gonzalez on one of them. That's beyond me there. You would think, oh, this is my bright spot corner, a lockdown corner, or at least shut down one of them. But he was like, nah, I don't really feel like. So I think that loss, even if like, because I think they were scoring points, but then the interceptions happened. But they only lost by 6. And it's like, yo, like you really have chances to win games with Drake May. It's like, okay. So I agree with you. They have something there. We'll see how it manifests. Definitely need another receiver. Travis Hunter, you are a New England Patriot, brother, because he needs something. He needs something. But good game by the Rams. I think they're second place now in the NFC West because fucking 49ers lost. But shout out to my survivor at my job. It's now 5 of us left because someone picked the 49ers. So we'll talk about that later. So we pushing in for, I don't know how much bread it is. I think it was like $5 a head. It was like 20 heads. So $100. Hey, man, I'll take it. I'll take it. God damn it. Taysom Hill, just Taysom Hill things. Accurate as always, natural. Saints dominate the Browns. It was like 186-yard touchdown, fluky. But other than that, like you guys were really dominant the whole time. And I was just like, that's what I'm talking about, man. This shit means something to me because fuck the AFC North, you know. But you guys just played well, and Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara was just humming, and then MVS in like 2 games as a Saint, he has like 3 touchdowns. It's like he's the new like Rashid Shaheed in the beginning of the season. Like fuck it, he's down there somewhere. We're saying whoa, because you don't want to put the spotlight on him. Nah,
Don't be disrespectful, boy. Rashid Shaheed. Don't disrespect him.
but MVS was that first. He was that guy first.
No.
All right. He's a new deep threat. And now that Rashid Rice, sorry, Rashid Shaheed is out. Fair?
Fair.
Okay. And then the defense just clamped down. Second week in a row. They do 1-2 in a row. Like this, the gap is not that wide because you think, pause, but you think, all right, Lions, Packers, Vikings, all three make it. Eagles, Commanders.
We're not making the wild card. I'm just
Huh?
going. No, our path to the playoff is quite simple. We went out, and the Falcons start losing to other teams that they got to face. Then we make the playoffs.
Okay.
We split against the Falcons. We got to play the Bucks as well. Bucks getting healthier. We'll talk about them. They had a bye week this week, so they'll get healthier.
But
But
you gotta win.
just win out. Just win. Just
All
gotta
right.
win.
But I like what I'm seeing. New energy with the Rizzler. Um, that's it. Nothing really much I gotta add. But talk to us, man. How you
Same man. There's not much either. It's one of those things that's like we're happy. The vibes are vibing right now. The defense finally is like tackling. Yeah, the 85-yard touchdown pass to fucking was it Cedric Wilson? I think that's his name.
no
No,
Jerry
Jared Judy, the Haitian sensation. Um, that was just fantastic play by him, just getting open and making plays happen. But secondary clamps have been awesome. Running defense have been great. Then just we keep just move the ball and score touchdowns. So that's exactly what we've been doing. I hate the fact that Kamara didn't score because I had a parlay that would have won me 42 cash if Kamara scored. So that sucks, but it is what it is. He had another game for, I think, 100 yards from scrimmage again. So again, he's awesome. He's also one of like 15 players ever to have 8 consecutive seasons with 1,000 yards from scrimmage. So that's awesome. Yeah, LT, Frank Gore, like those kind of guys are on that list. So proud of him. Derek Carr, efficient, 20 for 26, 280 something, no 2 touchdowns, no picks. Taysom Hill things. Just win. We have a bye week, which is one of those things where it's like, rather not have to buy because we're actually cruising right now. We're doing what we gotta do, but get even healthier and finish the final stretch. Hey, we got 6 games left, so we do what we gotta do. Let's end the season strong and make it happen. But I love what I see. Firstly, the most important player that on our team, Eric McCoy, our center. He came back for the first time since week 3. And yeah, we started running the ball effectively. Taysom Hill doing Taysom Hill things. Kamara's Kamara, but it all starts up front with run blocking, and he's our guy. So shout out to Eric McCoy. He makes it happen. Boom, Saints win. Vikings beat the Titans in 23-13 in a big play snooze fest. So I put this for a reason because without the Jordan Addison 40-yard touchdown, without the 98-yard touchdown to Nick Westbrook-Akine, there was nothing of note that happened in this game. Nothing really happened. Like, if you saw the score, okay, 23-13, Vikings win, okay, sure. So there was like 2 to 3 big plays that happened, but other than that, there was nothing. Nothing. And that's what the Vikings want. The Vikings want to win nothing games. They don't need to have the flashy, oh my God, because they're going to put some expectations back on them again. I think this is exactly what Minnesota wants. Yes, Justin Jefferson's quiet, not scoring touchdowns and stuff like that. But again, there's people who are going to be recognized for their greatness regardless. But the one thing that they need in the resume is playoff success.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson doesn't care. He's top 2, in your eyes, not 2, in my eyes, 2 receiver in the game. But he doesn't care about that. Yes, he wants accolades, personal accolades, but he wants team success. As long as his team keeps winning, right now they're the 5 seed, them losing, they're the 5 seed. They have a chance potentially to beat the Lions again later on in the season to steal the number 1 seed from them. Keep winning games, keep being boring. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Win, just win, baby. You can win by 1 point, 10 points like you guys did, or by 46, like the game we're gonna talk about next. But just win. It doesn't matter. Don't make things harder than it has to be. Trust me, because we know as teams have been heartbreak and losing but dumb shit, but losing we'd rather win small than lose small. So win, just keep winning.
I have nothing much to add. That was perfect. That was perfect. Lions put belt to ass on the freaking Jaguars. Jaguars should be tanking. They might want to. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he didn't play. He's out for the season. But you just trying to
Wait,
get a.
is he officially out for the season?
I think so. He has to play. Either I know he's on IR or something, but the point is when you got Mac Jones, McCorkle Jones starting the game for you, that's how you know you've hit rock bottom. So injury or not, like you probably want to lose these games, honestly. But then you're saying, hey, Trevor Lawrence was a first round pick. Then they had another first overall pick. Then you have another first overall pick. Then you get Trayvon Walker when you should have drafted Aiden Hutchinson. And he's on the uptick. Then you have one good year. Then you're back to sucking again for back to back season. It's like, and then they paid you. So it's like, damn. Like, where do you go from here, honestly? Like, you like you can't restart. You just paid them. Like, literally, this offseason, you paid them. So this would have been a perfect time. Okay, bet. Trade him away, get like a first round or a second round pick for him, and restart with the number one pick and get Cam Ward or Shador or whoever. Because they have the talent. It's not like they don't have the talent. Doug Peterson, he's gone, so you need a new coach anyway. It's just a dumpster fire. Detroit, they ain't have to do them boys like that. That's fine. Like all that shit, dropping 50 burgers and everyone scoring touchdowns. That's cute. But is that gonna help you win a ring in January where games are nip and tuck? No. I don't know how they I don't know if they could win close games. They are it's giving Mike Tyson. Like it's
Mm.
giving Deontay Wilder because Deontay Wilder in his prime, if you were a boxing head, if you know ball,
That's
knockout. But when he had to fight Tyson Fury, and he actually had to learn how to like box and keep it close to somebody, he lost. There's no shade to Wilder. He was one of my favorites when at his peak. I like watching like knockout compilations of him. I could watch that for hours. 'Cause he's amazing. But like all that, and then the safety guys like, oh, if y'all don't like it, stop it. That's gonna come back. Like now, the trade is coming. Like it's giving like they're the bad guys. Like they want to be the bad guys, but yet everyone loves them because of the stories. Like, oh yeah, Detroit was ass for so long, and now they're relevant. They don't know what to do with that relevancy, and they're starting to become very villainy, very conceited, very arrogant. But if you could put belt to ass on somebody and they're not going to stop it. Now, when they did it to Dallas, I was like, yeah, everyone loved that. Everyone loved that. When they did it to Tennessee with kick return touchdowns and all that, that was cool. But you're up 35-6 in the first half, and you still have Jared Goff, and why?
No, no. I think you're nitpicky. I think it's like because
Maybe.
if the Ravens were up 35-6 in Jacksonville and they're trying to get Lamar, not to try to get Lamar Jackson MVP, but it's like, oh, can't why you not stopping it? Why oh Lamar Broncos game. You put up 40 burger. Why was Lamar still in?
That was because of pettiness, because I'm pretty sure that was a John Harbaugh.
Pettiness. Let them be petty. Let them be petty. Let them be petty. That's it. That pettiness, whatever. Yes, you were talking about the Ravens had a their coordinator got fired by the Broncos, whatever. Let them be petty. Let teams be petty. If you they're a grown ass man, Shabazz. If you don't like somebody scoring on you, stop them. That's the ultimate respect. That's the ultimate respect because I'm not taking it lightly on you because you're down. No, systemic changes have to happen in Jacksonville. It starts with the coach, starts with the owner, GM, whatever. Because it's about to be the fourth time in Trevor Lawrence's career that they're picking in the top five, probably top one. And it's like no, like yeah, we gave him a slack the first season because he had Urban Meyer, but no, like this, and you just paid him as you mentioned. Lions give off, and you mentioned Deontay Wilder, and so they can't win close games. Kind of disagree. They beat the Rams week 1. They beat the Cardinals week 3. Close games. Right? They beat the Vikings week 6. So it's one of those things like, yeah, they can win close games. Hell, last week, despite 5 interceptions, won a close game against the Texans. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I think that like their offense can get got, but because they're such a well coached team, they give off. You talked about being villainy. Yeah, they're a little douchebaggery, but again, no one says anything when you're winning. When you're winning, it all works out. When you lose, it's hard to hate on a guy like Dan Campbell because everyone loves his like energy and stuff like that. They give off, and when I say this, don't be like, "Guys, how could you?" They give off early, early Chiefs vibes, early Mahomes Chiefs vibes for the season. Let me explain. Yes, Mahomes. He finally got his season to start in 2018, right? But they lost the NFC
Remember when he threw the for 5,000? 5,000?
5,000, 50. I'm not saying. Look, just hear me out.
No,
Hear me out.
I just wanted to make sure that was the one you.
That the
I'm with you.
5,000,
I'm not
55.
saying I just want I want the context. Like this is when he threw for 5,000 or 50. Okay, all right, go ahead.
One Chiefs for a long time. Yes, they had Alex Smith, but they could never get over the hump.
Mm.
Right. Real ball knowers knew, the Chiefs were, good team. The AFC West was trash, right? So they would win the division and then lose against the Titans or the Steelers or whatever, right? But man, wish they were a good team. They always have like the 4:30 slot in the AFC title, AFC wild card game, right? Against the Texans or the Steelers or whatever, Colts, whatever. So then they get Mahomes, right? They set him for a season, but then he starts, lights the world on fire, right? They lose the AFC title game. And everyone's like, damn, it should have been the Chiefs. No one wants to see the Patriots anymore. It should have been the Chiefs. Da, 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 da. Then what happens? The year after, right? They start rallying off wins. The momentum is going. We can see the future you see the future. You see, okay, this Chiefs team is awesome. Then they finally get over the hump. They win the AFC playoff championship game. They get to the Super Bowl and then win. I'm not predicting the Lions to win, but early season success, like, oh my God, lovable losers. They finally get over the hump. Yes, they made the playoffs. Yes, they won a playoff game. Oh my God, they're so great. They lose to the NFC title game against the Niners. It's like, damn, how could they? They're so close. They're so close. They start winning off again. Next season, they are a team of like, yo, we're gonna make it this, we're gonna make it further than we did before. We're gonna put people in the mouth and show where we should have been in the Super Bowl. The 9-1. Would it be shocking to you? Because right now they're the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. Would it be shocking to you at all if they get to the NFC title game, close game, whatever, and they win, and then they win the Super Bowl? Would it be shocking to you at this moment in time that they beat the Super Bowl? That's why, just plant the seeds. They're early. I'm not saying golf is Mahomes. Of course not. I'm not saying Dan Campbell is Andy Reid. Of course not. But vibes of lovable loser turned hero. It's like in High Q. Shout out to them and we can move on. Where they got to that like first taste of success, but they lost. And everyone felt sad. I damn near cried. You cried. Everyone that watched High Q knows exactly what I'm talking about. When they eat at that restaurant and no one say anything, but they get back to work and then they end up in the prefecture and then winning what they gotta win. All I'm gonna say, watch out for the Lions. You can't really watch out for something that's expected. Just keep an eye on them. And they might give off More vibes, more similarities than you'd lean on to it. Just saying. Colts upset the Jets 28-27. Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson. Shout out to him, man. Best game of his career, hands down. Not necessarily just as a runner, but as a quarterback. 67% completion percentage, 200 some yards, almost I think 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. My boy was cooking. My boy was cooking. He cooked a little bit. Jets, hey man, I was no was me and you Renault, we know about the Jets, man. We seen this shit since last year. I've seen it since the beginning of the season, but since in March, by the way. I look back to when the photo took place and when the bet took place. Since March, I said that the Jets would not make the playoffs. I said since March that the Jets would have a worse record than the Saints. I said since March that Aaron Rodgers is not the guy. And all Jets fans were like, oh, you just a hater. You're not a New Yorker. Like, bruh, bet it. So I have money on the line that the Jets will have the worst record in the Saints. And right now, they do. They're 3-7. Saints are 4-7. Boom. Yes, they have an easy schedule. But at the end of the day, when you can't protect Aaron Rodgers, he has a bad leg, and your defense is getting carved up by Anthony Richardson. No shade. Your defense ain't the defense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what. Oh my God, firing your defensive-minded head coach will lead to your defense not being great. Oh, shocker! Then they just fired the general manager. Everyone is getting the blame except for the man that actually deserves it, Aaron fucking Rodgers. He's not that guy. He's not that guy, pal. He's not that guy. And Jets fans are just oblivious to the fact that oh my God, and shout out to Matt by the way because I'm reading exactly what he said in the chat today because oh Moosey wants to say oh still better than Dayball and John Mara, right? They got a quarter.
That's a question.
The Giants got a quarterback room with Daniel Jones, Danny DeVito, and Drew Lock. Matt says perfect response, and then it goes quiet. No one says anything in the chat afterwards. Being one win better with head coach issues, general manager issues, and owner issues, and an aged quarterback with maybe 1 to 2 years left. Yeah, definitely in better shape. Jets fans are fucking delusional. I don't cuss a lot on the show. I try not to, but Jets fans are fucking delusional.
Mm.
Until they swallow the medicine and understand that they're not shit. They haven't won anything in our lifetime, Shabazz. Have they won anything?
They went to a couple of championship games.
Have they won anything?
No. I'm just saying they've been to a couple of championship games back to back in like 08, 09. That's all they've done.
And that was the last time they made the playoffs.
I think one more time after that, but pretty much like one playoff appearance since then. It's not been great.
But they think they're the shit. They think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're not. They're not. Like I don't know why I get so frustrated. But I'm about to win money off of Moosey and Jason, which is fantastic. But it's like, bruh, I hate the fact that my friends think that their teams are so great. I'm not saying the Saints are the best team ever. I'm not. I know we're not. Duh. The definition, the part of fan, that's a root word, is fanatic. Delusional is a part of being a fan. I get that. But when you take a step back, start roasting other teams for their ineptitudes, when you have the same goddamn ineptitudes, that's like look yourself in the mirror, bruh. Hey, pot, it's calling it's kettle, it's black, it's a pot calling the kettle black, bruh. You're the same thing. Jets fans think you're better than Giants fans. For what? Because green might be better than blue? It's the same team. Quarterback issues, general manager issues, coach issues. The same shit. Just a different color. It's the same thing. Just like, bro, Jets fans think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, bro. You're not. Go ahead, Schmelz.
So I'll say this real quick about the Jets. I literally told I was talking to my manager today briefly about because she came. The Jets fired their GM. I was like, yeah. I wasn't surprised about it though. I was just honestly wondering who was gonna be the next person gone. Like it's been that way. And then Sauce Gardner said, "We don't need no presentation on how to tackle, but couldn't do a simple tackle and got burnt for almost a touchdown. But I did not admit you. But yeah, I don't need presentations though." Aaron Rodgers saying, "Born in the darkness," or we you need to embrace the darkness. That should have been embracing the darkness. Y'all are 3-7.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's about that time. Your two wins are against the
I
Patriots.
lied. They're 3-8.
3-8, and two wins are against the Patriots. No, one wins against the Patriots because you lost to the Patriots. And then like, mm, they have a chance to do the funniest thing ever and upset Buffalo a couple weeks from now. But I'm saying they have the potential to upset Buffalo, which will make me happy. But it's like you ever they say bad apples infect the whole like I guess the whole crop.
Yeah.
Like from the inside out. It's kind of like Aaron Rodgers was sent there to just destroy everything from the inside out. Because what is left in the wake of Aaron Rodgers? No general manager, no coach, dysfunction around like disdain, and the vibes are just terrible amongst the team. That's because of Aaron Rodgers. Now, what he should do, don't he's pulling a Peyton Manning, but without the wins. Like Peyton Manning in his first year with Denver, amazing. He was like not a first 50 for 50, but 5,050 touchdowns, MVP, amazing. Second year with Denver, ooh, it was ugly. He actually got benched, but they won the chip and he retired. So I will always say he is one of my favorite quarterbacks to ever watch. I think he's the most talented quarterback I've ever watched in his prime. But this game is indicative of who Aaron Rodgers was. He is a guy who values his own personal stats above winning, period. This man had a chance to actually like win the game because you're down by one. You have a chance to win the game. If you do a couple deep shots and try to kick a game winning field goal, you might win the game. And we're having a entirely different discussion about, oh, can the Jets actually make a run? You might have been able to. But instead, the worst thing you could do in that situation with no timeouts is take a sack. And he took two back to back. And that ends the game. Now on the cold side, I loved Anthony Richardson's maturity. I love that he dealt the benching in a way that's like not to this the saying of the month is I understand it now, but it's pretty much like he understood where he messed up at, and now it's like okay, how can we grow from this experience? Because he's still young, like not even young in terms of league. True, like as a man, he's like 21 or 22. He's young. He's younger than Caleb and Drake May and all these rookies that came into. He's younger than them. So it's like he needs the time, and maybe he only got benched to be honest with you because he said I was tired. If he had said, "Oh, I think I had pulled something, I think I got injured," no one would have batted an eye, and none of this would have happened, and they may have won a couple more of those games. But for this game, for your first game back, to win that and to do it on both of your arm, or throwing your career high for like 270 and running for like two touchdowns, that's the kind of dynamic guy we wanted to see. And I'm super happy for him that he got it done. Dolphins beat the Raiders. Kind of just dud. Jonu Smith is having a career resurgence. I love that for him. I think Tyreek Hill, like they're not done. Like me and you talked about it. Miami could definitely go on a run because their schedule's light. Like on top of my head, I can't tell you. And as I do this, Celtics look like the Celtics about to win, and the Cavs about to lose their first game. But the Dolphins, they play the Raiders, which is fine. Then they play the Patriots on Sunday. Then they play. Who else they play? They play the Packers on Thanksgiving, which might be an L, but if they could win that, oh, they play the Jets. Then they play the Texans. Then they play the Niners, which is the way the Niners are looking. Who knows? Then you play the Browns, and then you play the Jets at the end of the season. Like who knows? And like the only real competition you have is for the seventh seed, because I do think Baltimore or Pittsburgh is gonna be the sixth seed or fifth seed, and then you got the Chargers. So that's fine. So you got the Bengals who keep losing, the Colts, and you guys, and the Broncos. So it's a four team race for one spot. So we're gonna see if they can honestly go on a run because they got some comp coming up. But in these next, I think they're 4-7 because they just had they're 4-6 and they had their bye week. Yeah, so they're 4-6. In these next 7 games, what are you? Their offensive, they've been exploding offensively since Tua came back. Can that continue? I hope so. Because you want to see star players in the playoffs. Like no offense to the Broncos, they're a great story. They're not a great team. Bengals, fuck y'all. I don't care about y'all. But people would want to see Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow in the playoffs, and then people would want to see Tua and Tyreek and Jalen Ramsey in the playoffs. Like they would want to see that. But will it happen? I don't know. And the Raiders, every time they lose, Shador says, "Thank God." He might be trolling, but the correlation's there. Shador Sanders, you sir are a Raider. There you go.
I got nothing else to add. This game was relatively quick. Like both had long drives that ended up in points, but it's like Dolphins scored touchdowns, Raiders kicked field goals, and then Brock Bowers though, shout out to him. He's like the one bright spot on the Raiders. Like he's like I think he just broke. He had the most receptions for a tight end as a rookie, like ever, with like 14 or 15. It's like damn, whoever got him in fantasy, they cooking. Dolphins get healthier, get the wins, start stacking wins now. And as you mentioned, you read off the schedule. Schedule's not that crazy. Like right now, yeah, they're 4-6. They're 2 games out of the division. They're not the division. They're 2 games out of the wild card. Make it happen. You got the Packers in 2 weeks. You got the Patriots this week, right? Winnable games. Winnable games. So just make it happen. The Packers game is the night game of Thanksgiving, by the way. But now, Basley, I'm not gonna say much. The only thing I'm gonna say is I'm gonna say a couple things, and then I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna leave, so I give you the space.
No, you don't need to leave. You can stay.
It took 2 missed kicks, Derrick Henry fumbling for the first time in 4 years, a pick that wasn't even a bad interception. It was just a defender making ripping the ball out of the guy's hands, and then another fumble. So you lost a turnover margin by 2 missed kicks, and a bad 2 point conversion play. So you lost by 2 points to the Steelers on the road. I'm not saying there's more victories or more losses, but that's something that keep your head up. Also, going forward, every time we lose, I say the same shit. What do you think I'm gonna say?
The
What's
commandments, the
huh?
commandments, the commandments.
No, not the commandments. No, no. Every time the Ravens lose,
Oh, why Derrick Henry not running the ball more?
why the fuck is Derrick Henry not running the ball? He didn't get a single carry in the fourth quarter, bro. A single carry in the fourth quarter. It's not like you guys were down 20.
They
It's not
lost.
like you guys were down 15. Hell, you down what or down 8 points going into the fourth quarter, down 8. Close game. He had 13 carries for 65 yards. That's 5 yards a carry. I would go get my jersey. I don't feel like getting up though. Derrick Henry outside of Lamar Jackson is your best player.
Yep.
Lamar, for some reason against the Steelers, doesn't have it. That's fine. And that's okay because Pittsburgh is one of the greatest teams. It's a rival. Mike Tomlin is a GOAT. Of course, he's gonna figure out okay how to best neutralize your guy. That's cool. But you know how the Avengers saying is like, oh, we have something. Da, da, da. We have an army. We have a Hulk. You stop Lamar. Okay, that's cool. Bring in Derek motherfucking Henry, especially for the 2 point conversion play. What are we doing? John Harbaugh, what are we doing? You got nuts of steel. That's great. But when you're trying to prove narratives wrong, trying to prove Nick Wright wrong, you just you're leading into it's like you beat everybody else by staying true to your identity, running the ball, play action, let Lamar be great at moments, but run the ball first. You do that all the time, but as soon as you play the Steelers and the Chiefs, you get dumb. You just turn into a version of yourself that's not who you are. You're a run first team. You're historically been a run first team. You have one of the greatest running backs of our generation. You have one of the greatest quarterbacks in your generation. You only put up 16 points, and you talk shit about the defense. Never, defense that couldn't stop anybody. 4-6 field goals. So I'm not even a Ravens fan, but I'm just disappointed because one, my twin brother's sad, and I don't want to be sad when my twin brother's sad.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's also one of my favorite players in the league, and Derrick Henry not getting the ball in the fourth quarter when the game is close. So I don't say, oh, you guys deserve to lose lightly, but play calling, trying to get cute, is the reason why y'all lost. So I'm obviously going to step away. I'm going to let you cook. But that's all. I said my piece. Steelers, good win. Good teams win. Great teams find a way to win no matter what. Defense and special teams. That's how the Steelers win. They don't need to win pretty. We talked about the Vikings. Don't win pretty. Just win. Steelers are 8-2. No one cares because they just, oh, it's expected. That's it. Go ahead, Shabazz. Go ahead, man. It's your team.
He ain't need to leave, but it's okay. Let me take a sip of water before I just crash out. All right. So naturally, he started off with the right thing. Justin Tucker, the GOAT. I don't give a fuck. He's still my GOAT. Still my GOAT. He missed 2 kicks. All right. That's the difference in the game. That's one of the differences in the game. One of 12 penalties, bro. We're the worst pass defense, and we're also the most penalized team in the league. Those two cannot be a thing if you want to be a Super Bowl contender, Super Bowl champion. It cannot happen. Honestly, cannot happen. First possession of the game, the very first, and that's how I knew the vibes was off. When Derrick Henry, of all people, in his last he has a lot of carries under his belt, and the last 500 so carries, fumbled the ball on the first possession of the game. Okay. Fast forward. Drop touchdown. Deontay Johnson is returning home to freaking Pittsburgh. Missed the pass. Dropped it. Zay Flowers. Multiple drops. One drop and one he didn't look. Because it was a nice little back shoulder. He would have just looked over it. He would have caught it. Because literally it was at his hands and it just dropped. But then Lamar makes a hell of a play. Escapes TJ Watt and not Heisman, but Preston Smith, and he's doing his thing. He dots Zay Flowers into the chest, not even in the face. It's right in your face, and he drops it. Fast forward, end of first half, likely fumbles to take points off the board, which then leads to 3 points for the Steelers. Right now, I do agree 100% with what Shannon Sharp saying about what Natural said. Hey, the ratio should be if we have 50 plays, let's say we have 60 plays, at least 20 of those run the ball with the combination of Lamar, Derrick Henry, like the running back room, including Lamar Jackson. They should like 19 times as an entire running back group, including Lamar, is not acceptable. As Nacho mentioned, and Colin Coward said it perfectly. We're not a run dominant team, at least now. Run leaning. The running game sets up for, especially for a guy like Lamar Jackson, sets up everything. Like if you watch Blue Lock, a simple move, and Isagi is thinking about every possible situation after that, but it starts off the run game. Shout out to Nagi, scored a goal against the U20. Just watched the episode. Shit was gas. I digress. For this is a situation where Todd Monken, for when he's feeling himself and it hits, no one's gonna check him. But when that shit don't hit and he get too big for his britches, like, it's not college. This is where you graduate your mentality. Like, all right, what's the formula? What's been working? What can we do to elevate what has already been doing to greatness? There should be no way. And a lot of those passes, I don't blame those on Lamar. He did airmail a couple of those, but for the most part, the drops was crazy. But 36, I think 36 sound like I don't even know the hold on. Before I say they're accurate, let me get accurate information for y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Ravens versus Steelers. Okay. Lamar threw. I don't need the player stats. Here you go. Lamar threw 33 times for just 200 yards. So I think 33 is a good number. I'm not gonna lie. But again, also when we're starting off a great big run or a nice pass for some yardage, holding on the offense, bring it back. Illegal man downfield on an amazing Nelson Aguilar, who we've, as a sports nation, been flaming this man for years that he doesn't have hands. He made a great catch on the sideline for a huge game. Would have been like first and goal at the 5, and it gets called back for a legal man downfield, which does not get called on a lot of teams except for us and in Houston last night on the Nico Collins touchdown. The Ravens were always getting called for that bullshit once a game, at least once a game. Even so, I'm still confident in my team for multiple reasons. One, we're not playing the Steelers and the Chiefs every week. Two, in this game, because on my offense, it can have a slump. It can have a slump game. This was the worst game our offense played. The lowest outcome of the season for us. And even so, we only lost by 2. Our defense stepped the fuck up, and I called them out. I told them I had to lock in before I crash out, and they did just that. They kicked 6 field goals, numerous opportunities that they had to score, and they didn't because the defense stepped up. Marlowe playing like an all pro, and then reluctantly, I love Kyle Hamilton. Dog, one of my favorite players in the game. That's probably gonna be my next jersey because he's just so great. But we can't have him as the star. And what I mean by the star, he can be the star of the defense, but you can't have him as a star position where he's blitzing, where he's in like a linebacker area. Like we can't have him in that. He has to be where we drafted him as a strong safety. It's not an easy call to make. I know, but the difference between this game and all the other ones where our pass defense was atrocious was because of lack of communication, was because of Kyle Hamilton for this game was back there watching everything with his high IQ. So we have that, and we have Roquan who got dinged, but he came back. I'm not concerned. This was a game where we needed to have, and if we can beat the chart Monday night, I'm not good. But Lamar Jackson is 6-2 Monday night. Prime time players, big time players make big time plays. Prime time Lamar Jackson, I'm not concerned. Against the Chargers, I'm not concerned at all. I'm talking big shit. Every time we play the Chargers, except for that playoff game, that was his Lamar Jackson's first playoff game. We put belt to ass on the Chargers. Not belt to ass, but we've beaten the Chargers. Our Darius Washington, I was not familiar with your game. He was as short as he's my height, 5'8", 5'9". He's a new starting free safety for us. Because he
Mm.
was making not Marcus Williams, not Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson didn't play, but he was the guy making plays. Brandon Stevens, you gotta get benched, brother, or have a reduced role because boy, Russell Wilson had 100 something yards, like
Most of the
70
deep balls,
majority heavy much like 78 of those was on Brandon Stevens when he was guarding George Pickens. Because George Pickens had 89. So boy, I'm not concerned. I think we're gonna go into the Chargers and win. Cause we need to. But I'm honestly not concerned. Pittsburgh gonna get theirs. You see them again. But all in all, and then the discourse around Lamar Jackson, particularly with Nick Wright, it's kind of like me and Caleb. So I can't be mad. I can get annoyed as shit because he's quick to demote a brother. You can't call him no. For everyone that's trying to call him racist, he has a black wife. He has black kids. Like no, no. But he's a guy that will literally diminish Lamar's light and his greatness to prove a point. For him, because he's threatened of the greatness of Lamar Jackson. Because he knows if there's no I can't say when because Todd Monken and John Harbaugh be selling my man Lamar Jackson for too long. If they can be as consistent in the regular season as in the playoffs, particularly in that AFC Championship game, we are looking at Lamar Jackson as a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
That is Nick Wright's biggest fear. And if it happens, I'm optimistic in saying when, but you never know.
Wait. Why do you think that's his biggest fear?
Because there's nothing else he can say.
Mm.
There's literally what? He got 2 MVPs. He could win a third, but it's looking like Josh Allen at the moment after week 11. But then if he wins a ring, the only thing he could say is that he can't beat Mahomes. So the fuck what? Ring me, bitch.
So I know we gotta talk about other games, but it's fine. I want to stay on this topic for just a little bit longer. So I think that Nick Wright, people label him as a hater. I think he it's you say he's afraid of Lamar Jackson. I don't think that's the case. I think he holds the utmost respect for Lamar Jackson.
Mm.
And that's why he's so critical. Why do I say that? Because you just mentioned he's 2 times MVP. The only thing that Lamar Jackson is, if you're a fan of the show, if you're just tuning in for the first time ever, what's known or gotta be said about Lamar Jackson, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Heisman Trophy winner, slipped in the draft for no reason. People thought he could play running back or receiver, but no, I'm playing quarterback. Slipped in the draft for no reason. Went to the Ravens, a great organization, has 2 MVPs. All the positives about Lamar Jackson is there. Boom. But his criticisms are the following, and you mentioned it. And I put a name out here that he said, and I'm like, damn, got me. Why is Peyton Manning not regarded as one of the GOATs?
because he couldn't beat Brady.
Because he couldn't be great when it mattered most in the playoffs. He has 4 or 5 fucking MVPs. In the regular season, Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback of all the times in the regular season. He was better than Brady, better than Breeze, better than Rodgers. But why? Why are other guys look better than him? Because in the playoffs, when it matters most, he shot the bed a lot. Like a lot. Nick Wright holds Lamar Jackson, not to the Peyton Manning standard, but to the Lamar Jackson standard of, dude, you are an MVP, 2-time MVP, unanimous in 2019, kicked ass, 14-2, dominant from start to finish. Literally, destroyed the Dolphins like 51-6, like that first. It was dominant from start to finish. But what happened? As soon as he got to the playoffs, buttholes got tight, and Lamar wasn't Lamar. Last year, yes, not the stats, not the gaudy stats he had, but everyone knew he was MVP. Everyone accepted it. He's MVP. Cool. But home playoff game against Mahomes, you change who you are. And it's not even Lamar changing who he is. I put that more on John Harbaugh than anything else. But Lamar is the person that has to execute the plays. It's like, why are we a run-heavy team all of a sudden we turn to a pass-heavy team? Why? Stick to what works. So to wrap up this conversation, because we have like 5 games to go because it was a light week this week. Nick Wright holds Lamar Jackson to an unfair standard, but it's only the unfair standard because Lamar Jackson is unfair. Lamar Jackson is a unicorn. He's one of one. He's awesome. And to say that he hates Lamar or doesn't respect Lamar, I think that's too much. I think that he has Lamar high in regard because he's showed on the field time and time again he deserves that respect. But just when it matters most, he doesn't show up. Against the 2 teams he needs to beat, the Steelers and the Chiefs. Luckily for him, he gets the Steelers licked back later on in the season. And he's going to have to play that game because last season he didn't play. They locked up the 1 seed, didn't play last year. So cool. But this season, he knows he's going to have to play that game in order for a chance to win the AFC North.
Yep.
Expectations will be up there. Lamar, he'll get it done. And then when they see each other in the playoffs, in terms of Chiefs, Ravens, he have a chance again. But for now, the questions have to linger. Can he win the games that actually matter? It has to be there. Unfair or not. It has to be there.
You can shut up.
Seahawks upset the Niners 20-17 in a game that it's like the Niners were controlling it for the entire time, but the Seahawks just kept hanging in there. And then all of a sudden, with a minute left, Seattle has a chance to go down the field and score. And that's exactly what they do. Geno Smith had a couple questionable plays. Jackson Smith and Jigba, your guy. That's your guy. Stepping up. DK Metcalf came back, but it still was the JSN show. Possession receiver. Tyler Lockett took a step back, and rightfully so. When it mattered, when you get a clutch third down. Great catches. Boom. JSN. Kenneth Walker, they start running the ball more. Finally, oh my God, you have a great running back. I wonder using a guy who has a great running back, using it to his advantage. Baltimore. But I digress. Seahawks stole this game. They stole this game because at the end of the game, when it came down to execution, they executed better than the Niners did. That point blank period. Now the Niners, Seahawks, and Rams are all 5-5. And the first place team, Cardinals. No one would have thought. Not even me. Now, can they stay like that? Maybe. But the Niners had cracks in the beginning of the season, and I picked them to miss the playoffs. And I was like, yo, they not that good of a team because, hey, Super Bowl hangover. Again, we talked about this like a couple weeks ago. Sometimes superstitious stuff like that, sophomore slump with CJ Stroud, Super Bowl hangover. There's cliches in football exists. They're cliches because they work. They're proven. Your team that loses the Super Bowl, especially in the way they did, come back. Basically, everyone comes back, and then you got injuries out the ass. And Nick Bosa, valid Trump supporter, loud Trump supporter, got hurt. His oblique is out now. He's hurt. So it's like as soon as they start getting people back healthy, another person goes on the IR or goes onto the shelf. So they're dealing with the enemy and the injuries, but no excuse. So is Seattle. So good win for Seattle. Great win for Seattle, and showcasing that 3-0 streak in the beginning of the season wasn't a fluke. So they're 5-5. Good win.
Yeah, man. I think and then no one talks about it because again, Matt said a great thing on Monday. Cause I was like, I wonder who they're gonna talk about because they talk about Allen, talk about Mahomes, they talk about Lamar, but like the big name players for ratings, right? No one's talked about how Purdy threw interception and when he needed a win, he threw it to Debo instead of the man who was looking like prime To out there and Jawan Jennings. Um, like he's not playing well. He didn't play well, and no one's talking about it. But that just goes to show you that that just means the level of I guess expectations or how pull like that conversation about you. That loss is on Kyle Shanahan though. I definitely it's on Purdy for sure, but McCaffrey not he did okay, but we're gonna I think we should give Seattle 100% of the credit because they didn't stop fighting and they had a chance and they took the lead with 12 seconds left. It was like, oh, bet. But I say Kyle Shanahan, I think he did two challenges, one in each half, where like that's two timeouts that they needed. So it's like, dude, sorry,
Mhm.
like two timeouts you should have had, but then you have 12 seconds, you have a couple timeouts to kick a field goal. You don't have those. So it's like, and I know Niners got I think Detroit on the docket. I know they have Buffalo next week, and then they play Miami. So and they play the Packers. So like they don't have an easy schedule to say the least. So Seattle, I think Geno Smith got his first win against the Niners. Which
Mhm.
shout out to Geno and shout out to Seattle keeping pace. I do not know their schedule. Let me look real quick because hey, they can keep pace with Arizona. I know they played them again. They played them this weekend. So there you go. Like they played them again. I think they lost the first time. Oh no, they played. Oh wow, literally two times in the next 3 weeks. They play Seattle. Then they play they play Arizona. Then they play the Jets, and they play Seattle, Arizona again. So like two times in the next 3 weeks. It's a telling sign. Oh, if you're going to keep pace and maybe win this division because that's who you got. So we'll see. Shout out to Seahawks, man. And then the Broncos sweep. I knew Sean Payton is hype. I knew Sean Payton was. I think they asked him the question. He was like, you know what? I'm not gonna answer that. But I know he was hyped that he swept the entire NFC South, but belt to ass on the Falcons. And I knew the Denver Broncos were gonna win because the coaching advantage is amazing. And then Bo Nix, man, like even me, I was saying, "Oh yeah, Jaden Daniels got this in the bag." Not so fast, sir. Not so fast.
Not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast, my friend. And it's a long season, bro. Because Caleb was hot, then Jaden was hot, Bo Nix is hot now. So and the team, it's like, damn, who they got? They got Patrick Surtain. They got Sean Payton as a coach. Cortland Sutton, leader, dog. And they got Estimate Hurling folks, Javante. They have a very solid running back room. And then I think Marvin Mims or whatever his name is, Sean Payton believed in him when Russ was there.
I think it's Marvin Mims, yeah.
So like talking about him and now he's stepping up. It's like, yo, they really can make some noise. Now, I do think obviously they might not make it to the playoffs, but they got their win total. They got their win total, baby. So I think it's clutch. I think that's amazing what they're doing with just a little talent. And I know they're in cap hell because of the Russ deal, but man, when they get out of this and they have cap space and they draft and develop talent, you definitely can see them contending with Kansas City for that division. Maybe next year, maybe the year after that, but eventually it's gonna be a new story. And then you got the Chargers there too, so it bringing back some relevance in the NFC. That's the NFC, the AFC West. So shout out to the Broncos. Then Atlanta, 2 straight losses. Kirk Cousins looked bad. He looked slow. He couldn't move like that. And I take blame for this because I was like, oh yeah, he about to pull up and they about to do their thing, but he can't move. He can't move, and when that pocket collapses, he's not rolling out. So he's not rolling out and throwing dots. No, he's not. He's gonna get hit a lot because he can't. He's not. He never was athletic. He was like in the like. You think of a square. He's staying in the square. Maybe roll out occasionally, but that was when he had a healthy Achilles. After that, it's like, dude, not really. So Atlanta got a lot of soul searching to do. 'Cause I know they played. I think they played. Who else they play? Hold on. What's their schedule looking like?
They're on a bye this week.
Okay, well, a much needed by.
You have, I think they play the Chargers. So yeah, they play the Seahawks. They're the Chargers. Sorry, they play Chargers, Vikings, Raiders, Commanders, Giants, Panthers.
I see
So
them winning one loss. One, two. I see them winning 3 more games. They're going 9-8. They're going 9-8. I thought going in that they could have contended for the 1 seed, but they're not beating the Chargers. They're not beating Minnesota, and they're not beating the Commanders. And they might fuck around and lose to the Panthers because. But I don't know. I don't. I see 3 wins there: Raiders, Giants, Panthers. But I don't know, man. It's not
we'll see.
looking good.
I got nothing else to add, man. The Broncos look good. Sean Payton, he sweeps that. The fact that he leaves the conference, leaves the division, and still sweeps everybody. He swept everybody. Still beats the Bucks week 3. Beat the Panthers, destroyed the Saints Thursday Night Football, and then just ass beat the Falcons. So I think every single game was by more than 2 possessions. So it's like, damn, he showed up and showed out. Um, I got nothing else to add. Fantastic. Good job, Shabazz. Next, we got the Bills handing the Chiefs their first loss of the season, 30-21. We knew the Chiefs weren't going to go undefeated. We knew that. It was a matter of when they were losing. I picked the Chiefs. Pardon me. I picked the Chiefs. I thought that, you know, until I saw Buffalo do it, I can't pick them to do it. And Buffalo, shout out to them. Josh Allen. Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things. Yes, he had an interception. A bad pick. Bad pick. 4th down. Why don't you just kick a field goal? But pick. Then they score a touchdown afterwards. But what was great for me for this game was that now that they lost, right? Now that they lost, everyone can see it. I finally say something's wrong with the Chiefs. We have been saying it for weeks now. Offense hasn't been looking good. But offense hasn't looked good. The defense carried. And then when the defense looked bad or shaky against the Bucks a couple weeks ago, the offense finally stepped up. And then when both look decent, special team saves there. This was the first time that Mahomes has lost by more than 1 possession in since his rookie year, or his first year starting. He doesn't lose when he doesn't lose a lot. Then when he loses, he doesn't lose big. Josh Allen went Superman in the fourth quarter in that game winning, game clinching touchdown. And Mahomes had a chance to come down the field and they didn't have it. Really, he was down 9 with 2 minutes to go. There was no real feasible chance he was going to win. The Chiefs, they do get Isaiah Pacheco back. They do have a running game again. So hopefully this is just all right. We'll see them again. I understand it now, potentially, but this loss was brewing. This loss was they should have lost last week. They should have lost the week before that. Should have lost the week before that. There's like a lot of you can go back weeks and say, okay, they are not the dominant Chiefs of old, but they got the loss. And Tony Romo said it best. Yes, you don't want to celebrate losses, duh. But it's good that they lost this game because now they actually have to fight for something. They actually can't lose another game because if they lose another game and the Bills go undefeated for the rest of the way, guess who's the one seed? Buffalo.
Hmm.
And if they lose another game and they play the Steelers, right? So let's say December, whatever, they play the Steelers and lose, the Steelers jump them. Assuming the Steelers will still be having two losses, right? So the Chiefs can't slip up again. They still play the Steelers. They still play. The Chiefs don't have an easy schedule. They don't. They still say the Broncos. They see the Broncos again. Yes. So the next couple of weeks, the Panthers, Raiders, fine. Chargers, Sunday Night Football. That team, they're gonna be looking to upset some people.
Yep.
The Texans, pretty okay team. That's on near Thanksgiving. That's not near Thanksgiving. Near Christmas. Christmas Day, the Steelers, and then the Broncos will close out the Steelers season.
Tough,
So
tough,
tough,
tough. It's
tough.
tough.
So we'll see. For Buffalo, they damn near can clinch the AFC East. I don't know how what they need, but they could be the first team to clinch the division because they're at 9-2. The next closest team is 4-6.
They're 9-2. Wow.
They're 9-2, and the next closest opponent is 4-6, and they already swept the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
So I genuinely think if they win next week, they clinch the division. Not
Yeah.
next week, they're on the bye. They're on the bye next week. But the win the week after, they clinch the division.
Clutch.
So
Um, I'll keep it brief. I I don't know what's gonna happen, bro. I honestly don't. Both teams are flawed. All teams are flawed. It just how can you capitalize on the opponent's flaws? And Mahomes, no one's saying it because he's the two-time undisputed champion, and he's like one of the greatest players to ever get it. Bro, this season he's been playing terrible. Like he's thrown an interception in every game. Every single game he's thrown an interception. This one he threw two. First pass of the game, throws an interception. Like, bro, if Josh Allen did that when he was doing that last year, everyone was clamoring that, oh, he's not the same guy. He can't get it done. But, that's what happened when you already have three of them things. Because you can afford to make those mistakes and they'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So I think they're gonna be. I don't know. I just think Buffalo needed it more for sure. But then if like, uh, I'm not trying to make this a Nick Wright thing because I'm trying to avoid saying this man's name because he pisses me off so much. But this man's like he had Buffalo. He propelled Buffalo because if the Chiefs lost to Buffalo, he go, oh, which also a good team. It's okay. But then if they had beaten Buffalo, he's like, oh, you beat Buffalo. They're a great team. Like, oh my god. So like he was in a win-win scenario. I'm trying not to limit my talk about Nick Wright because I don't need to give him any more platform than he already does because he has a big platform already. The Chiefs are not. They're a flawed team. They're 9-1. So shout out to the 72 Dolphins. They can pop their champagne. Buffalo, they're 9-2. Their two losses are against Ravens, belts of ass, and then Houston. Which they honestly should have beat Houston. So they really should be the one seed right now. But can they keep it up? They play Detroit. They play San Francisco. They play. I see them losing a dumb game, and they should have lost to the Colts because that was a dumb game right there. But for all intents and purposes, they should clinch their playoff position, at least division or playoff berth next week. Because 10 wins definitely get you in.
They have a bye next week, but week after.
No, the bye was this week.
They have a bye week this week, so
Yeah,
then next week.
yeah. After next week, like they should definitely clinch their playoff berth.
They're playing the Niners on Sunday Night Football,
Ooh,
so
we'll see.
yeah, that's in there. Speaking of Sunday Night Football, Shabazz is choking, dying over
Okay.
there. Okay. Chargers don't charger themselves as they beat the Bengals 34-27.
1 minute.
Go ahead, Shabazz.
The orders. What happens to the order, baby girl? I know I was choking and dying, but goddamn. Shout out to the Chargers, man. First of all, they beat Bengals. Everyone, all the media folks was like, "Oh, the Bengals should win this game because they got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins came back and Trey Higginson leading sacks." That shit don't matter. That shit don't matter. I think Higginson had like 5 sacks in one game against the Raiders. That shit don't. That shit is inflated. Joe Burrow leads the league in passing yards, but he has like 50 plus more attempts than every single person because they're always down and losing games. Jamar Chase is the benefactor of those passes. So it's like, dude, yeah, sure, they on paper it looks great, but their offensive line is bad. Joe Burrow got killed out there. And then Evan McPherson, who was the playoff savior for the Bengals on their road to the Super Bowl, he's been ass, similar to Justin Tucker. That's our GOAT for years. He's been ass now. He's a little cooked. He's semi-cooked, you know. It's like medium. You look at steak, you know, little medium. It still tastes good, you know. But Chargers played, bro. I think it was a stretch. I mean, we playing Fortnite. This dude's like 7 for 7 with 2 touchdown passes. We was like, yo, this dude is playing phenomenal. And then second half, I thought like I went to sleep. I keep it a buck with you. I went to sleep. I'm like, oh, it's like 21-6. This shit boring. I can go to bed and get some extra sleep. Nah, second half, I'm tired. I went to sleep because second half was exciting. T. McGee, amazing. But this just goes to show you, man, like this is what coaching can do to instill confidence in a player. And J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, like former Ravens, like I love seeing them cook. Now we played on Monday night. None of that. None of that. All right? Hold it down. But I just love seeing them do well in their roles. Will Dissly, forgotten Seattle Seahawks for so long. He's on a new team and he's flourishing. Quentin Johnson looked like a bust, keeping a buck. He definitely looked like he's playing phenomenal. Lad McConkey is a rookie from Georgia. He's doing his thing. Khalil Mack didn't even play, and they were still getting pressure to the quarterback. They were still doing their thing on that end. And it's just amazing to see. And Jim Harbaugh, definitely now I can see the Chargers winning a Super Bowl in the next couple of seasons. They could have went the flashy way and picked up Malik Neighbors, but they was like, no, we need to work in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
And picked up Joe Alt from Notre Dame. Already pair him with Rashawn Slater, so they have an excellent tackle duo. Next year, a lot of his former Michigan guys are going to be in the draft. He's going to be able to pick them up because he knows how great they are in the third, fourth, and fifth rounds because he knows it's like the Pete Carroll thing. So, I'm bullish on the Chargers' future because they have the quarterback. We and you, we locked in on Justin Herbert. They have a good coach and / great coach, and the prospects that's coming in. It's similar to Pete Carroll when he first joined Seattle. He knew all the guys. So he was like, oh, we can just get these guys in the later rounds, the hidden gems. Bro, he knows all these Michigan guys because he gets the scouting report from his former assistants who are now the coaches there. It's like, oh, it's easy pickings. So I'm excited for what the Chargers are been able to do. For the Bengals, every game is do or die, which goes in my benefit because if you went out, we still beat you out twice. and y'all play the Steelers twice. So I need y'all to beat them, lose everywhere else, but beat them. You know what I'm saying? So y'all could do me a favor. Y'all could do me the service, but I think they're 4-8, 4-7. No, they haven't had their bye week yet. 4-7.
They haven't played the bye yet.
Yeah.
The
So four,
Vikings.
it's a tough hill to climb, but I can't you can't dismiss that they're not playing. They're I guess big three I guess is playing well, but
Yeah.
in losing efforts, it's like the old Colts teams with Peyton Manning. While he was never really in the playoffs for real because he would go nuts, but then they would lose games. Old Saints teams, Joe Brees throwing for 5,000 yards, and they going 7-9 or 6-10 at the time. The defense was selling.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know, but shout out to the Chargers, man. Held it down for me.
Where Chargers don't Chargers themselves is the perfect way to describe this because again, years past they were up 20. I think they got to one point at halftime they was up 24-6. Kicked the field goal to start the second half 27-6. And then all of a sudden, no lead safe. And the Bengals, oh, here we go. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Missed kicks by Evan McPherson kind of capped off the entire day of Sunday because it was mixed kicks everywhere. Every team had missed kicks. Shout out to the Browns had missed the three of them things. One and like the Bears got one blocked. Justin Tucker missed two. So it's like field goals on Sunday was like the worst thing to do to settle for. But they win. J.K. Dobbins instead of going down and taking a field goal to win, they said no. I'm going to score a touchdown. He right now should be comeback player of the year. Besides all the ACLs and the leg injuries he had to deal with, he's like what fifth in the league in rushing touchdowns and fourth in the league in rushing yards. Like he's cooking. So shout out to J.K. Dobbins. He's making it happen. Raven legend. Bengals. Next season, what do you do? I've been saying call. I've been calling for Zach Taylor's job for a while because what does he even do here? It's not. He doesn't. What does he do? You lucked up into having the LSU connection.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a like, oh my god, and then Trey Hendrickson, shout out to him, having an all pro season, but it's gonna get wasted because again the team can't win. So the one defensive player that does his job. Saint Legend right there. Oh no. Bengals figure it out. And lastly, Monday Night Football, a game that I genuinely did not watch. Because I knew this outcome was not shocked. When I woke up this morning, I saw 34-10. Oh, okay. Made sense. I saw the first drive. I saw the fact that Nico Collins came back healthy and said, oh my God, that offense looked boom, back to normal. Just exactly what I predicted. But then they got called back for holding. And then Joe Mixon, shout out to him. I said it earlier. Giants fans kill Giants for getting rid of Saquon, but the Bengals get rid of Joe Mixon and no one bats an eye. No one bats an eye.
Well,
but
Super Bowl ball, they definitely flaming the Bengals because
right, it's like this is the year of the running back resurgence. A little bit.
a little bit.
It's like yeah, the quarterbacks are doing their thing, but it's like the running backs, the teams that have are good records right now, right? They're winning games because of the run game. Bills, the Lions, bruh. The Lions have a two-headed monster. Detroit, Cardinals leading the division. Kyler Murray, James Conner. Falcons, Bijan Robinson. Yes, Vikings have Justin Jefferson, but Aaron Jones is no slouch. Packers ran the ball well with Josh Jacobs. Commanders, Jaden Daniels, running game, Brian Robinson. That's just an NFC. AFC, Chiefs, Mahomes, ball control, run the ball. Bills, run the ball. Steelers, run the ball. Joe Mixon, Texans, run the ball. Chargers, run the ball. Ravens, run the ball. Broncos have a fantastic running room. Running backs matter. And when the Dallas Cowboys, when I've been saying it since week one, can't run the ball, can't stop the run. Recipe for disaster. And of course, your quarterback's hurt. They're going to tank and lose every game. They probably beat the Giants because Tommy Cutlets is starting. But who knows? Who knows? He has good legs. He can run potentially. So who knows actually what happens? Dallas Cowboys haven't won a home game this all season. They haven't won a game at Texas at AT&T Stadium all season. That's bad for business. And they're even more screwed. Why? Because they paid Dak Prescott, who got hurt. So you're gonna have a top 10, top 5 pick potentially. You can't draft a quarterback. Why? Because you just paid your quarterback. And you still gotta pay Micah.
They should
What
just
are you gonna do?
trade him from assets, but that's just me.
What are you gonna do? Texans win, but who cares? Who actually cares? They're gonna win the division because actually wouldn't be surprised if they start choking games because the Colts are only 2 games back. But the thing is, they swept the Colts. So no matter what happens, right? The Colts have to kind of have win 3 games more than the Texans do. So it's a terrible thing. But who knows? Who knows? Who cared? Who genuinely cared about this game? Because
No.
everyone knew the outcome. Everyone knew the outcome.
Yep.
And if you didn't know the outcome, why are you oblivious like Jets fan?
God damn.
God damn.
I have nothing to add. Like, bro, honestly, gang, it's just sad. And actually do have some mad. CJ can't justify him. That sophomore slump hitting. Ever since he hit Caleb with that little bro moment, I gotta sit up. Ever since he hit Caleb with the little bro moment, he's been playing bad, bro. Now they're winning games, which is fine. But dude, they shouldn't have lost to the Jets. The Jets, bro. Like they lost to the Jets. They like they haven't played the Chiefs yet. They haven't played Baltimore yet. Like, dude, shit like that is not valid, bro. He's throwing interceptions at a higher rate. All of last season, I think he threw like 4 the whole year. It's bad, and no, can he get? He's talented enough that he can get out of that slump. Not slump. I wouldn't say slump, but I mean sophomore slump, yeah. But it's a real thing, bro. Like they got tape on you, they got film on you. They know how you act and react and stuff. At this point, what can you do? What are you gonna do to elevate yourself past that next level? You know. But with that said, though, thank you guys for watching. It was like if you was watching, look, it was like 6 and 5 and 3 and 1. It was very fluctuating. So if you new, drop a like, subscribe if you're new. Follow us on Twitch. We're here tomorrow, Tuesdays and Wednesdays for 8:30 for review shows and prediction analysis shows and stuff like that. So if you're new and you like what you like to see, we just 2 boys from Brooklyn and live in Queens, live in Indiana. So we litty, man. Shout out to the Irish. I heard what you were saying about the Irish. Shout out to the Irish. Man, we can be young, man. What are you talking about? I don't know. Last two times we've seen him in the playoffs, it was not pretty. But I digress. Thank you guys for watching. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Live your life in the 4 F's and the V. Faith, family, food, football, and
vindication.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 when we talk about week 12. Regular season is coming to the 4th quarter. And I love it.
Week 12 is bye again in number 1. 6 teams on bye.
Damn.
And week 14 is bye again in number 2.
Yeah, that's when Baltimore's on our bye week.
Yeah, hold on, I'll tell you right now. Week 14 has another 6 teams on bye. Yeah, so
tough.
We're about to be in the fantasy playoffs and seeding purposes and stuff. Good luck, ladies and gentlemen. But until tomorrow, peace. Love and hair grease. If you know